Hey guys, I'm Trevor.
I'm the ghost.
We are the Ghosty and Unnamed Ghouls show. Today we're going to be talking about Ghost's latest record,
Ghostface Killer.
Prequelle, the Brown Tape.
Yeah.
Ghost is a Swedish rock band. They have recently found a lot of mainstream success here in the States. I've just seen a ton of Ghost t-shirts when I was on vacation, and I've never seen them before that. 5 of the 6 members of the band, essentially, this is their shtick, kind of conceal their identities as nameless ghouls, and the frontman changes with each album under this new anti-pope identity with a different name each time.
Yeah.
They've had
because each pope either gets taken away. One show, I think, from what I've done research, is one show they're literally the pope got taken off stage by security, a new regime, which I think is really cool. I think they really have their aesthetic of what their gimmick is.
Yeah,
it's really fine-tuned.
They're stage, they're stage rock,
stage cult, stage church. Their whole entire identity is really well figured out.
Yeah,
and I think that even applies to their music on this new record, Prequelle, which is supposed to kind of be. It's the first time the character doesn't have one specific name, or it isn't in a lineage of other characters.
He's not in the Papa Emeritus or whatever lineage. His name's Cardinal Copia. And he is obviously not a pope, he's a cardinal. And that's kind of what sets him apart, I guess, from the whole lineage of the demonic, anti-pope kind of thing going on. Which, I guess, if you haven't guessed, this band has a lot of satanic undertones.
Well, they're a metal band, so of course they do.
But no, more than normal. Yeah. Way more than normal.
Well, they're it's a fucking cult church. So it makes sense and implies some of their gimmick. And I think it works out in their favor, at least in a lot of this album, because there's no reason for it not to exist, because it just fits into their personality and their gimmick. And for the most part, this is a extremely catchy metal album. So you need to know.
I mean, it really is. I'm not a huge metal fan myself, but even I found a lot of fun things to get into here. Singles like Rats or Dance Macabre I thought were had so much energy and were just super fun. Tracks like Miasma, or I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce this. I'm gonna try my best.
Okay.
Helvetesfonster.
It's about as good as I can say it.
Also instrumental track I think were amazing, to break up the action. Sometimes this album, I think my biggest gripe was the songwriting sometimes, because I think that compared to a lot of other metal songwriting, this felt very basic, I guess. Sometimes it just got into this very edgy territory, something Linkin Park would write, or Theory of a Dead Man would write. But in all honesty,
it deals with kind of the subject matter of the Black Death and kind of all hell and surrounding, and how the devil is kind of trying to take control of everything, sending out the Black Death. It's very strange and deals with that type of atmosphere, which is cool. But it kind of that one particular subject isn't explored full enough, I think.
Only in Rats it's explored to its fullest potential. Yeah. But otherwise, I don't know, you've got tracks like Pro Memoria, one of my least favorite, or I think one of the weaker moments on the album, that's got albums like Don't You Forget About Dying, Don't You Forget About Your Friend Death, Don't You Forget That You Will Die, and then that's the end. I'm this is I don't know, this is some crap that I would write in 4th grade.
It also sounds like the bug from episode 3 of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. But I think even when it isn't lyrically interesting me, I think it also is very catchy.
Yeah, musically.
And musically the performances are good, and one thing I gotta give throughout the entire album is use of keys, whether it be synthesizers or organs or just plain old piano, harpsichord even. It implements that into just its style of metal, and it fits. And since it has this kind of gothic medieval tone to everything, it completely works. And I really especially love the synthesizers. They remind me a lot of David Bowie's Low, and a lot of the atmospheric instrumentals that are on that, which I think are really cool. Almost the warm synth, which I think is really nice. It's almost pleasing before you get into almost all the chaos, which I think is really cool. But moments like Rats and Faith and See the Light, I just think are catchy as all get out. Even Life Eternal, I think, is really catchy. Like, all this album's really, really catchy. Some minor notes I have is the instrumental tracks. The two of them I just don't think are... Like, I enjoy the music that's being provided, but I think they both run a little long, and I also don't know if they're truly really needed.
I personally enjoy them a lot because I think that they do break up kind of that edginess and some of the... If my main gripe is songwriting and you have a song that includes all of your amazing musical talent plus a saxophone, then I'm going to enjoy it because, like, that just broke up that kind of theme, like, this thematic thing that they were trying to get across. I felt like got across in lyrics most effectively, but they also, I think the lyrics turned out to be kind of cheesy sometimes. Just like they're kind of phoning it in. Like I was telling you about the lyrics on Pro Memoria. These instrumental tracks like really broke it up for me. And I was like, okay, like cleanse my palate, like get me back in that same like death mindset, and then hit me with some more lyrics.
See, not to say like the production of this album sounds the same, but all these songs sound like they're in the same particular like world or same particular vibe.
Yeah.
So it sounds like all the other tracks in a sense, but it doesn't have lyrics on top of it, so it just seems strange, and they seem to go on for a bit too long. Mm-hmm. So I think even if they were shortened a bit, I think it would maybe make it a little bit better for me personally. But I think, and like just to conclude everything, because I don't have too much to say about this, I think this is a very well spoken for universe, very spoken for gimmick, spoken for atmosphere that they're trying to provide. Mm-hmm. It's very catchy, very fun production. I feel like I am in almost the cultish world or the religious, like the religious held world that Ghost is in, and they're able to put you in that universe, which is really cool. It feels really big, it feels grand, it feels otherworldly, and it's amazing. It just... Sometimes they don't. I think the lyricism is just kind of a bit weak, or they need to delve into issues further, or maybe present some new ideas about how the universe works, because I think they're really good at word building, but they just don't do it enough.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's great that I can see everything they're trying to do, but I wish there was just a bit more, almost ambiguity to everything. But yeah, this is extremely catchy and really fun. I'm gonna give this like an 8. I think it's a really well made record. It just needs some minor mix-ups here and there, and I'm honestly excited to listen to this because I think it's very fun, very catchy.
Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8 as well. I did enjoy the instrumental tracks, but like I said, some of the lyricism, I think that the tracks Pro Memoriam, Witch Image, as well as the ending Life Eternal was just kind of weak for me and not as catchy or not as well spoken for, but the music behind them I felt to be really good, and I mean they're very talented instrumentalists, obviously, especially like talented on those keys.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, those are amazing that they were able to just kind of intertwine that with the metal instrumentation. It's really cool. It reminded me a lot of Sons of Kemet using a tuba, and being able to intertwine that in with a traditional jazz sound made it sound really cool.
Yeah.
And this sets them apart. I'm excited to hear this again and see what I think of it as time goes on.
Yeah. Well, if you want to hear us talk more about music, we host a weekly podcast called The Anthony and Todd Show every week, where we just talk about dumb shit and also music sometimes. It's on Apple Music and Spotify, usually every Monday, but sometimes we're just late because we're bad at our jobs. Links down below in the description if you want to listen to it. But until next time, guys, I've been Vincent.
I've been Trevor.
And see ya, boys.
Bye, everybody.